Hi guys, welcome to the channel Learn Concepts with Nikhil. Discover, learn, and grow. So, in this video, you'll be learning about invest principle in creating user stories, right? So, we have learned about epic future and user stories, right? User stories are too small and they are written in very detail, right? So, invest principle helps us in crafting and drafting a very detailed user story. So, let's go into the video, guys. So the invest principle is a set of criteria used to create high quality user stories in agile environment. It's quite intuitive, right? By using a invest principle, it is a set of rules, not set of rules, but it is a set of criteria for crafting a better in detail high quality user stories in agile environment. As a business analyst or as a product manager, we need to create the what you can say we need to create the user stories. So by following invest principle, you will be creating a high quality and detailed user story. So it ensures that each story is well defined, actionable, and valuable for both users as well as developers, right? So it will be ensuring this invest principle will be ensuring in crafting and drafting user stories which are well defined, well detailed, actionable, and valuable, which is valuable for both users as well as developers. It is valuable for users because users will be getting a nice future or nice user story. It is valuable for developers because they can easily build, right? They can easily understand the user story instead of giving some bag or undetailed user story. So a well structured user story follows the investor principle, helps team build a efficient, testable, and deliverable features within minimal dependencies. As simple as that, you can understand by reading the what you can say reading the lines. So invest stands for I stands for independent. Like your user story should be independent of other user story. Uh, it should be negotiable. It should be open for your user story should be open for negotiable discussions and all. It should be valuable. It should be creating value for users as well as developers as well as all the testing team and the designing team. Next is estimable estimation. We can do estimation by reading the user story. It should be small. It should be small but detailed. We'll be learning about all this in the next slide, sir. I'm just giving the abbreviation of all these acronyms. Next is testable. It should be testable. The user story should be testable. So let's discuss about each of them in detail. So first is independent. I stands for independent, right? So a user story should not be dependent. I forgot to say you one thing. I will be using user stories too in crafting or in doing my characters. I'm a filmmaker, right? I do movies and I do short films. So I use user stories in crafting my characters too, for giving goals to my characters too. So yeah. So here I stands for independent. A user story should not depend on another story to be completed. It should be independent of another user story, right? It should not be dependent on another user story. Should not depend on other story to be completed. This ensures flexibility in prioritization and development. So see, if one user story is dependent on other user story, first we need to build that user story and then we need to build this user story, right? If it is independent, like we can directly prioritize this user story and we can build the user story or future. So yeah, example, as a user, I can reset my password so that I can regain access if I forget it. Like it is independent. The story can be developed independently of the login feature. Without building the login feature only, you can build the user story. But let's see the second example, which is bad example. So as a user, I can receive a reset password link after logging in. So after logging in is nothing but first we have to create the login user story. Then after we can reset the password. That is not the case, right? It should not be dependent. It should be independent of the other user story. So first example shows the drafting and crafting of a better user story. So let's say this depends on the login, making it a non-independent, right? So negotiable. For example, a user story should be open to discussion and modification based on new insights and changing requirements. As simple as that, you can understand it's intuitive, right? It should be open to discussions. It should be negotiable. So let's see bad example first. As an admin, I must have a report with exactly 10 columns and a blue background. This is too rigid, limiting discussions, right? It is limiting discussions. It is saying the particular set of what you can say particular set of rules. I want this only karke. It is saying the rules, but it should be negotiable. It is too what you can say. It is restricting the user story. Let's see the perfect example. As an admin, I can view a report for user activity to monitor engagement. The developers and stakeholders can discuss how detailed the report should be, right? Here, there is a scope for discussions. There is a scope for what you can say there is a scope for detailed discussions. But in the bad example, right? The user story is too restricted, too limiting discussion, like too restricted. I want this only karke. There is a restriction, but it should not be like that. It should be open for discussions. Next is valuable. As simple as that, you can understand by what the story should deliver a clear benefit to users or the business or the developers. Like it should be valuable for all the stakeholders. So let's see bad example first. As a user, I can see an extra button on the home page. What value does it bring? Like the extra button is there, right? What is the value of that extra button? See, in when crafting UX, when crafting user stories or when doing the UX design or developing the product, every button, every space, like every space is important for us. So like we cannot keep a button just like that, right? What value it is bringing, what value the button is bringing karke it is asking. So it is bad example. A good example is as a shopper, I can apply discount codes at the checkout and save money on my purchase. Provides a direct value to the users, right? So discount codes at checkout, that's a button. So it is creating the direct value to the users. So it should be valuable. User story should be valuable, like in creating valuable benefits to the users and business. Next is estimable. Estimable is nothing but estimation. Developers should be able to estimate the effort required to complete the particular user story, right? It should not be vague. It should be uh, estimable. Developers should be estimating the time, the effort, right? Let's see the bad example first. As a customer, I want a better order tracking process to what does better mean? Like we cannot what you can say we cannot estimate the time with the word called better, right? But in order to make better, we can work so much, so we cannot estimate the time based upon what the better or best like that. But let's see the good example. As a customer, I can track my order status from my account, clearly defined scope, making estimation easier, right? As a customer, I can track my order, like I will be tracking my order from status from my account. As simple as that. We can do estimation. Next is small. A user story should be smaller enough to be completed in a short development cycle, right? Here in the sense, small means there are two meanings. One is there should be a small user story without much what you can say big documented. There should be small user story. Second meaning is it should be completed in a small time or a small timeline or small time iteration. That is nothing but a sprint, 1 or 2 sprints. So yeah, bad example is as a user, I want to completely redesign profile section with photos, bios, themes, and social links. Too big should be broken into smaller stories, right? So example, as a user, I can upload a profile picture so that I can appear to my what you can say appear to my contacts, or my profile picture will be displayed to my contacts. It is simple, right? It is simple, small, and it is broken down. Like I can build a profile picture user story one time, I can build a the bios user story one time, I can build a themes or social links user story one time. So it should be small in the document also, as well as in making it also. Like developers can be like developers can make it in one step. Next is testable, and this is the last term. So the story should have a clear criteria to verify if it's implemented correctly, right? So bad example. Let's see the bad example. As a user, I should have a good sign up experience. What does good mean? Hard to test, right? So let's see a good example. As a user, I receive a confirmation email after signing up. It is verifying, right? If I sign up, I'll be getting the email. If I didn't sign up, I'll not be getting the email. So it is testing me. The user story should be testable too. Easy to test. Does an email arrive or not? Right? So by what you can say, by employing invest principle, by adding or by applying invest principle, you can craft a well defined, actionable and valuable user stories that can add value, that can add value for both users as well as developers as well as business. So this is about invest principle, guys. In the next video we'll be talking about mockups, prototypes, fidelity mocks, uh, wireframes and all. That is my favorite topic. So yeah, let's meet in the next video.